everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? So welcome to the very first annual Philly Sports Fan Show. We're going to have a couple people on with me that I've actually surprisingly met through iTalk Studios. But the first guy I want to bring in, what's good, Daniel?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Not too bad. I mean, shit. But yeah, so I mean, we're going to wait for a couple more people to get in here because basically, we could just pretty much just talk about anything, just like baseball, life, basically. Yeah, and all that stuff. But yeah, man, it's been, well, let's just be real. It's been, how's your day been going so far? I mean, but
doing good. I mean, yesterday was pretty nice because, like, I kind of, like, got taken by surprise when I actually got into iTalk Studios. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's just like it's funny because the reason why I somehow discovered him was through, well, let's be real, the recommend page. It's like, screw it, let's just check this guy out. So yeah, it's just been, but yeah, it's been crazy though. You know, I kind of do like he's doing his, yeah. So I mean, but yeah, I'm just looking for some baseball season at the same time.
Yeah,
and yeah, just looking forward to see how my Phillies do this year, especially after what we've done so far this past off season.
I was kind of saying this yesterday, but like, I'm hoping that the Cubs can kind of like do what I don't know.
Well, we'll see because I mean, from what I've been talking, I'm good friends with a couple of good buddies of mine that are Cubs fans. Say that front office is a little bit cheap. From what I've been told, but that's kind of a little bit different. That says differently.
Yeah, we've been making a lot. Swanson, Mancini, a lot of people, like Tyone, Bellinger. I mean, Bellinger was back to an MVP for him, then that would be crazy. But
it'll be nice actually to put him on a 1 year prove it deal.
Yeah,
and for me, it's just like, what's good, Urku? But I know your Cubs were just a pain. Well, let's just be real, for lack of a better term, a thorn in our side the last year. I will say that. I mean, the fact where we went 0-6 against you guys, it was kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I thought like. Well, I was kind of like, I don't really like the Brewers, but like, we make the playoffs, so I was kind of happy when we beat the Phillies. But rooting for the Phillies. So.
And I told people that I told some casual baseball fans too, just try to look out for the Cubs. I mean, they're another team that's kind of on the up come up, especially after had that probably the best core players that I've seen. And Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, Contreras. But yeah,
that was kind of crazy. Like we had all these good players, but like for example, like you'd think that we would actually be able to like have a pretty good, but instead we had to trade everyone. And then last year I was glad to. So, but
yeah. Anyways, apparently Austin and others can't even get in. Hang on.
Okay.
Let me just. Let me just gotta resend the link. All right, let's try that. But so let's just hopefully this actually works. Because I mean, it's been like I said, I pretty much do like some other shows. I mean, once like all y'all can actually just see what I usually do for my production wise. I mean, I'll do these from time to time, but we're also doing building up our membership program as well, and stuff like that, and just kind of doing our own thing. Not just me, because I have my buddies. But yeah, so
your channel's pretty impressive. So drivers, that's pretty nice.
It's not working. Hang on a second. I gotta fix something really quick. Just bear with me, everybody. I do not know what is going on right now. So there's up to 10 guests. This is ridiculous. So let me see something really quick. Hang on. This is kind of awkward. I appreciate that, Randy. Next shift, Randy, another good buddy of mine from the hardcore sports as well. Trying to work with everybody. It wasn't. Let's be real. I would say it wasn't easy to get to 1K. I will say that it took 2 years. It took 2 years of just grinding it out at the same time to get to it. But it's a
YouTube channel too, so I understand how hard it is.
It wasn't, like I said, it was easy to start out. Like I tell people that too. People think YouTube is easy. you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I will say that. And especially like doing my own I pretty much do not that super because I do mostly more live streams than anything else in terms of hang on.
Yeah. Friend Alex, he's over here.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, we appreciate that because right now the kind of the goal right now is the 1,500, and then after that, then we'll try to go from there, go down to like the 2K, and plus I have like my own merch site and stuff like that, so kind of get a lot of stuff ahead of time. But let me check right now. Because it's apparently Austin and let me. Yeah, I think they're just having. I don't think it looks like it seems like Tyler and Austin are having issues getting it in here.
Yeah,
but let's. Because first of all, I have like the full thing of restream. It's like I should have at least have allowed up to 10 guests on stream. So let's just see. Yeah. It's just let's be. I mean, like I'll do like it's surprising too. Like not just I don't just really focus on baseball. I'll do. Oh, and
what's going on,
that was
guys?
kind of a. What's good, Tyler? I know that kind of restream at times is a bit of a weird one. Trying to send the link out to people, so hopefully that worked with Austin. Hopefully he gets in here. But
better late than never, right?
Yeah, true. I can't disagree with that.
How are you guys doing today?
I'm great. I mean, just been. Not just that. Just try to do, not say channel maintenance. Just try to figure out what else I want to do going forward. Because I mean, I've been just still like focusing to it. Like I play like all things baseball show. Plus, I also have like 3 other different shows. Focus on the Eagles, the Sixers, and the Phils at the same time. Plus, I mean, just kind of just do a lot of work and just have fun with this.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Excuse me 1 second. I do not have an actual stand. I'm trying to find somewhere solid to put my phone.
Now you're good. But if I were you, Tyler, I had to recommend check on Amazon and actually get like a little tripod stand like this. Make it a whole lot easier. But
Definitely
yeah,
something
so
I'm gonna have to do.
oh, there we go. Hey, trust me, or try to get a pop socket, one of the other two. Because trust me, I always had the issue that at one point at the same time. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, and not just like I just like to do like baseball podcasts and stuff like that, and the other shows I usually do. And you have, and I think you should kind of, if you can scroll throughout my channel the channel a little bit, I do also like play-by-play commentary as well. So at the same time,
Gotta be something I can.
yeah,
Okay. That should be good.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to watch some of your videos. That's pretty good.
All I know is if you looked at my older videos, yay, it's cringeworthy. I could say that much. And it's funny because I tell people this too. I get like the comments that are all my videos that are like over a year and a half old. It's like I'm thinking to myself, like, have you been like living under a rock? I mean, the production. I mean, since getting a green screen like that and also get like a new mic and whatnot, it's like people just tend to really forget that production and try to improve the production quality each and every time. Because now since being monetized, I think the next thing I want to try to get is a ring light, try to improve it much more to get better lighting. So,
I mean, hey, bit by bit, but
yeah,
whether you have $1 million budget or a $1 budget, all that matters is you're putting in the effort.
that's true. Because, like I said, I mean, because when I do play, but because I'm not that far away from my TV, but it's kind of like blocked off by my little bit of a closet. So I actually got this off Amazon for like less than $20, so it'll be easier. And I have a couple streaming services, so at least it'll have easier to have that right next to me at the same time. But Tyler, man, kind of introduce yourself to people on the channel, since because I really never really done this before, so it's kind of a bit of a first for everything.
Fair enough. I mean, it's already been said. My name is Tyler. I live in Houston. I mean, it's obvious who my favorite team is. I'll also support on the side the Angels, the Orioles, the Mets, the Phillies. I'm a passionate Yankees hater.
Oh, I think most people are nowadays.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. It's like, and I'll say this too. Like, it's funny because, and I see people in iTalk Series chat one time. Like, people think our Philadelphia's classless. UBC technically, it's 50-50. I will say, since I am like literally 5 minutes outside of Philadelphia, even though I live in Jersey, so I'm in the Philadelphia area. So, but I can say, the fan base, yeah, we are very passionate at times. Yes, we can be obnoxious, and once alcohol gets involved, it's a whole different animal. But I will say,
who isn't obnoxious when they get drunk? You know what I'm saying?
That, yeah. Well, then again, at least you're not Yankees fans, but I can tell you that. I can tell you that much.
I've never seen Phillies fans throw beer into Citizens Bank Park after winning a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that, because that's how we always, not just for just Philadelphia sports in general. We always had this weird narrative, like no one really gives us, like, no matter how much success we find, we still always get hated on, no matter what it is. Like, first of all, like when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017, no one really pretty much counted us out as the underdogs. We never thought the Phillies team would never go to the World Series. I mean, it's a lot of negativity, that negative narrative around us. So I will say, I will kind of debunk to a certain extent. I mean, some Philadelphia fans can act like complete jerks sometimes, and like on iTalks, yeah, what happened to Mattress Mac was kind of, and it my buddy Tyler as well, that I know for most of my life. Yeah, he will say it too. Like, it makes us sick to our stomach. Just how crazy we tend to act. So
I feel like I'm more familiar probably with most people than Mattress Mac because I live in Houston. I mean, people just, whoever was trash talking him in that clip that everybody saw a couple months ago, that was uncalled for. I think
that really was uncalled for.
I think a lot of people don't know that this is a very generous, really good guy, giving away millions and millions of dollars to good causes.
Absolutely.
Every time the Astros win, he's giving away millions of dollars in free stuff at Gallery Furniture. Mattress Mac is a really good guy, and that was so uncalled for what that one Phillies fan was doing.
Yeah, it's just like, because for me it's ironic because it's like feels like I want it's like it's sometimes it's kind of like us like, and I've been a Philly sports fan for years. I mean, I remember the days, when Rollins came up, Howard, Utley. I remember the old school era of what, and remember the Eagles, Brian Dawkins and stuff like that. So, Flyers not so much because, well, they really have not done much in terms of success, because the only time they ever had success was in 2010, and then unfortunately blew the 3-1 lead to the damn Chicago Blackhawks. So I think a lot of Flyers fans want to tend to forget that. And I think a couple of years ago we almost were close to making the Stanley Cup Finals and just fell short to the damn New York. I think it was the Rangers. I think it was the Islanders, because the New York's had like two of everything. God dang, got two baseball, two hockey, but it's been crazy the last year and a half, especially not just for us. I mean, it's funny because actually, because I know Coach Dante, he's another guy that's a diehard Houston fan, not just for the Astros. He goes for the Rockets, the Dallas Wings, for the WNBA. Yeah, so yeah, I do cover the WNBA from time to time as well. But yeah, it's funny because he and I was kind of talking about it's just like, man, I bet the Dodgers are punching themselves for trading away a Jordan for Josh Fields straight up. Like, I'm looking back on this, like, wow. I just started shaking my head. It's like, there's how, like, the fact that, trying to think who else did the Dodgers have in their organization at one point that they kind of gave up. That's a tough one though. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but yeah, I know some Dodgers fans. I mean, like, it's kind of hard. I mean, I was from iTalk Studios, like when I watch, it's like I can understand why some Dodgers fans have a hard time rooting for Freddie. I mean, obviously he's been a long time Brave for over a decade.
I mean, fair enough. And about the Jordan thing, in retrospect, yes, it looks very stupid that LA traded him to us for Josh Fields of all people. But at the same time, Jordan wasn't a monster at the base yet. He wasn't. He hadn't developed his power yet. So at the time, it looked like a more sensible trade because nobody at the time thought Jordan was going to be this monster hitter.
Oh yeah, but like I said, retrospective. But now, just looking at the last couple of years,
looking at it now, yeah, that looks like a very stupid trade.
It really does, and I see some stupid trades throughout my life, and and I've seen. I mean, in baseball in general, for as long as I can remember, not just being a Phillies fan, but just memories in general. I mean, one memory in particular, I think I remember. I think it was going like through 18 innings or something like that. Because I remember like throughout the 2000s. So the late 90s is kind of a little bit fuzzy because I was still kind of young at the time. Yeah, so I'm a little bit on the older side of things. I'm going to be 26 very soon, in the next couple of months. But yeah, they got Merrick, fellow Braves fan. But yeah, I mean the Braves, I could definitely, and I guess I think whoever said it like from yesterday, I definitely could agree. I mean, it's going to be a 3-team race so far in the NL East for sure.
I think that was me that said that.
I think it was you.
What I had said on iTalk Studio stream last night was, I'm not saying the Braves are going to be a bad team. I still think they're winning 90-plus games. I still think they're easily getting a playoff spot. But they lost a lot of good pieces. Yes, they did add good pieces, but I don't think they added enough. And Philly and the Phillies and the Mets got a lot better this year. So I think Atlanta's actually going to, this might be a bold take. People might disagree with me on this. I think Atlanta is going to be third in their division. Philly will be second.
Yeah, because it's like, I know a couple Braves fans. Blake Newsom's as well at the same time, because like he knows I think he has it like it literally has this in his Twitter name, like has an asterisk like third place. It's going to be crazy to think that that the Braves could be a third place team, which is beyond my imagination. I think most of us are imaginations at that point. But I mean, like you said, I mean, they lost Swanson. I mean, that was kind of. But I can at one point I can see the one side, but the dude's been there for the development, and Vaughn Grissom, who knows how well he's going to adjust in the major league. I mean, you have guys. I mean, you already botched the Freddie deal, and that set most everybody off.
Yeah.
Who else did they lose in free agent? Lost Kenley Jansen. They lost him, but then again, I don't think Braves fans really care. They lost Kenley Jansen. I think they have better pieces that in the farm system. But it's like
about the Braves though. Like, do you guys like going on to free agency? Like, I feel like he's this year. And a big piece of the Cubs acquired, but I just think that will hurt the Braves.
But I will say that it's funny because I'm looking at the contract for Swanson. It's like, look, I mean, I kind of like people say it's an overpay. I really don't think it is. If you looked at, I mean, yes, I mean, on paper, I mean, it's going to be at one of those points. It's just thinking myself, like, is he? And I do really think that the Cubs getting Swanson, I think, can really replace that lack of veteran leadership in that clubhouse. When Bryant left, still has really not been the same after he left. Bias has not been the same. Rizzo is 50-50. Depends on looking at the season, but he's kind of always been Mr. Consistent for them. Even though after he's no longer there, it's just kind of just how weird it's going to be looking for the Cubs after winning the World Series in 2016 and then just suddenly blow it up.
Yeah,
after all that.
I was a big Rizzo fan.
It's weird, it's weird how teams. I mean, thankfully this hasn't happened to my boys, but it's weird how teams will win the World Series and then fall down a cliff right afterward. It happened to the Nats. You could argue it happened to the Red Sox. It happened to the Cubs, although not as quickly.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like the Cubs had 3 good seasons, and then it was kind of just like wild cards and missing out on the wild card, but they lost in the wild card and scored 1 run. So since 2017, it's just not been good in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Side, but I don't know.
I
want them to be better, but
I mean, who's to say? I mean, things could be a lot different. I mean, David Ross. I mean, for the longest time, I thought he was just one of those guys. I think could really be that type of manager type where, you have these guys where, I think David Ross could actually understand it. But I think with the Astros, no matter if they let 1 piece go, 2 pieces go, they're always going to find a way to reload that. It's kind of they're like this, the blueprint of you may not spend and they spend over 150 million, but I'm thinking to myself they really don't need to spend that much. I mean, they got just loaded in the farm system.
That's the thing about the Astros. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I remember in 2022, before the season started, the narrative was, oh, the Astros lost Carlos Correa. He's one of, if not the best shortstops in the league. I remember that. And then the guy who replaced him, Jeremy Pena, had a better season as a shortstop than Correa did. But anyway, right now the narrative is, oh, Verlander is gone. I mean, and I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'm not going to sit here and say that doesn't hurt. It definitely does. But we have 3 pitchers other than Verlander who had an ERA under 3 last year, and Hunter Brown is for sure going to. I think he'll be a long reliever with the occasional start, but Hunter Brown is an AL Rookie of the Year candidate.
I could see that because it's funny because look at the AL Rookie of the Year. It's it was nowhere near close. People, I've seen some of and I know some Astros fans. Most fan bases have some delusional fans, but the fact that I've seen some say, "Oh, why is it Jeremy Pena?" Have you looked at the season J-Rod has had with the Mariners compared to what Pena had? And I'll say this too: I think Pena. The only issue with, and I've talked to Dante about this. The only thing he has knocked on Pena, he's a bit of a strikeout machine. He's just kind of a bit of a free swinger.
Yeah, he chases a lot of pitches that probably. He's definitely not Alex Bregman. You know how Breggy almost never swings at balls?
Yeah.
He's definitely not Bregman, but I mean, nobody expects him to be Alex Bregman. It's his first year in the league. The guy is what, 24?
I think 23, 24. I mean, he's got a long way to go. But I will say the two, his batting stance is the most unorthodox I've ever seen. The way how it just gets it going. But in the end, I mean, I do like. I'm trying to think. I mean, Altuve for the longest time. I mean, like you'll see what you want about Altuve. For me, the reason why I've always liked Altuve, he proves that I say, yeah, baseball is no matter what size you are, if you still can play the game at a high level, there you go. I mean, and I've seen the good, I've seen the downright ugly and the bad years of the Houston Astros. Oof. But I remember some underrated players over the years. I mean, Hunter Pence, Lance Berkman, Roy Oswalt. I mean, Altuve when he came up. I think people tend to really forget how bad the Astros were for three straight years before they became.
I'm kind of embarrassed to say this. When I was a little kid, I was born in 2000. When I was a kid, I would watch for a little bit if I saw an Astros game was on, but I was not a passionate fan. And why would I be? I was a little kid and the team was garbage.
Yeah.
I didn't seriously. This is where people will call me a bandwagon. I didn't seriously start paying attention until I had heard in 2017, hey, the Astros are in the World Series. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's for me, like, and I'm kind of a little bit different. I mean, I followed, the good, the bad, and sometimes it's outright ugly of Philly sports at times. I mean, prior to 2008, I mean, we had did pretty well in 2007. I think before that, I mean, we had some guys come up through the organization. I think a lot of people will remember as Philly's all-time greats. I mean, Rollins, Utley, Howard. I remember having Pat Burrell. We made a trade for Roy Halladay in 2010, which that still boggles my mind that we even pulled it off. Unfortunately, we had to get one of our prospects, which turned out to be Travis d'Arnaud, and the kind of the season is that's kind of history of just how well d'Arnaud has done. But I mean, in the end, I mean, at least we got two. But like I said, and I told people this too, like don't expect us winning the World Series because the only difference was, I mean, it's the pitching depth and just the better roster construction. That's just the way how I saw it. So it's like if we do put up a fight, I'm okay with that. It's just people sometimes just can't stop. You won't stop take it for granted at times.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about like the Astros rebuild, for example, and I feel like I tried to do the same thing, but it didn't work as well. Like we got the World Series, but if you look at the 2021 team, it's really similar to like the 26. Think about like Russell. You had the big grand slam and.
I mean, Russell. You got. I remember Miguel Montero. You still had Arrieta when he was still in his prime before he just kind of fell off and didn't do well for us. I can tell you that much. Just has not been the same.
Russell had to be released. World Series.
Yeah.
Like Baez kind of is not doing that well. I'm surprised to see it now. And then that's a bad contract. And then he went to the Yankees and he's been like just staying for power. Like his average is like 2,000, like a lot of home runs. So, but
oh yeah,
and like Bryant, like all fell apart really, to be honest. And
I said this too. As soon as Rizzo, Baez, Bryant left the Cubs, some of them just, Rizzo has been somewhat consistent, but, has not the same production as he once was. Bryant just has not been the same. Baez has not been the same. It's just, who knows with Contreras going to St. Louis. I know a lot of Cubs fans are kind of, upset about that because, I mean, dang.
Yeah.
Shit, I would be too. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. What are our language parameters here?
You can I don't have this stream monetized, so you can be fine. You'll be okay.
I'm gonna try not to say anything crazy.
Well, like I said, if I had this monetized, because I tell people this too, I try to be as much peachy as I possibly can. And speaking of, I have another good buddy of mine backstage. What's good, Nate?
What's good? Let me just Rob. This is what you're gonna get next week. all this shit, all this giant shit, bro. Let's go, baby.
And yeah, coming in our turf. So,
bro, I
Is
cannot
that
believe it.
the New York or San Fran Giants?
New York Giants. Well, technically New Jersey Giants, like I would say, but
Oh my
even
god, don't do this shit.
like it's like I'm not trying to bug you or anything, Nate, but that's just one of the biggest thing that still rubs me the wrong way. They call you the New York Giants, but it's like you're in East Rutherford, New Jersey, for crying out loud. But that's besides the point. But I got to give the New York Giants, a lot of credit too for as much as injuries that they had. Talk about it. But then again, it can't be worse than being a Chargers fan. I can tell you that. Talk about dealing with injuries. But
come on.
In the end, though, I mean, I'm gonna give, like I said, I'm gonna give where credit is due, and it's just like it's been one heck of a season. I would say not just for the Eagles, not for the Giants, but just for most teams.
Besides Washington, there's still
Washington, the Jets. I mean, but it is what it is. But I mean, yeah,
the one
what's
thing
good,
I'm gonna
Nate?
say though is this. The one thing I'm gonna say is this. I think we have a good shot to beat Philly. Y'all can't stop the run. What we do is if we just run the ball, we should be fine versus y'all. Y'all run defense, you guys know it's terrible.
You'd be surprised. I mean, I would disagree. I mean, there are times we have a better run defense than our pass defense. I will say that.
You guys have your pass defense is really good. I ain't gonna slash that. You guys have really good edges and probably the best line in football. But the thing is, your linebackers are not the best.
That's always
really good. So
I mean, you're not wrong. We always had an issue at times with the linebacking core. I mean, outside of that, I mean, the last decent, linebacker we ever had was Kendricks. I'm sorry, that's Jordan Hicks. My bad. And then I think the best one we have is probably Sheldon Brown. I think people tend to forget how underrated Sheldon Brown truly was in 2007. But linebacker always been. I would say it has not been an issue, but it's just always the one thing we have a hard time addressing. But I mean, get TJ Edwards still doing his thing, with Kaiser White, who's been
Kaiser White's good. I love Kaiser White's one of the most underrated linebackers in the league.
Well, thank you for Chargers for that. I mean, and it's fun, but I mean, Chargers fan, what the hell just happened?
That was the biggest.
I talk last night said he's a Chargers fan.
Oh, I could imagine how disappointed he must have felt.
Listen, they gave him the game. But just be honest, they
gave him
the game.
And look, I'm a longtime Clemson fan. I have never seen. I mean, look, I know how good Trevor Lawrence can be, but I've never seen. I know, people say, "Oh, you're going to write him on best of post." Give this kid a chance. I mean, the dudes are in the second year with a new head coach. Let's be real. After that, abysmal year with the Urban Meyer and just how, oh boy, and it was just a mess. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just one of those things, and it's funny because it's the fact that people I've been seeing on Twitter and social media the Brock Purdy slander is fucking ridiculous. It's
I'm telling you, Brock Purdy, with the way that he's been throwing the football in this first playoff. This is his first playoff game. Obviously, he's gonna have some nerves. People were thinking Tom Brady in the playoffs. There's no, and people could listen. Brock Purdy has the best situation in football right now. One of the best running backs in the league. Deebo Samuel's back, and Deebo is about to go crazy in this playoff. But
yeah,
he has George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the league, lines in the league, best defense in the league. He has everything to do, and he's been playing some good football.
And they got a good coaching staff. I mean,
best.
And me and my buddy Tyler talked about this, and I'm thinking to myself, I think Trey Lance might be done in San Francisco. I think Brock Purdy might be the guy to lead this.
The thing is,
that might be a stretch.
That's Shanahan's guy. Shanahan. I think him and Trey Lance are just like that. I think he's going to give him another chance. But if Trey Lance blows this up, then what the hell he's going to do with another team? Because he has the best situation in football right now.
And the fact that he still can't get nothing, can't get it done. I mean, it's for me that's just mind-boggling. It's just how do you You're supposed to be the number 5th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, a couple years ago.
He was number 3. He was
number 3. But you're a top 3 pick, and he still can't. No, I will say too. I mean,
You can't play. I think on him, it's injuries. Injuries happen.
Yeah, injuries do happen. So, like I said,
he's been not lucky with his injuries. He's probably one of. Listen, the thing is, they're going to give him another chance because I think Purdy deserves it, but they're obviously he's the number 3 pick. They're going to give him.
Yeah,
chance.
That's for sure.
Is basically going to make them give him another chance.
But it's
I do just want to clarify: this stream is not sponsored by Cheetos. I'm just hungry.
Oh, trust me, I'm with Tyler. Trust me, I do it all the time. I tell people that all the time. The only sponsor we ever have over here on this channel is We're partnered with Fanatics, and we're also partnered with SeatGeek as well. So those are only 2 sponsorships and whatnot. So, but it's just like, with football season coming around the end, because for me, like, no one and people got a chance to know me. I pretty much eat, sleep, breathe, and live baseball all year round. I'm sorry. I'm just one of those, because baseball for me is my number 1. Football and basketball is number 2. Sometimes soccer is number 3, depending on if I feel like it. If I want to get
hockey's number 3. Hockey's number 3 for me.
See, I just can't get into hockey. Just how bad my Flyers team has been.
and
the fact that the Flyers are even on a winning, I think to myself, man, you're making it much fire Chuck Fletcher for crying out loud. And
this shit was so funny the other day. So I was like, let's go. I'm just gonna watch a Flyer game. Let me just see how our first thing, just goaltending. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, is this like I'm sorry to every Flyer fan that's out there. Honestly, y'all been doing this, but my God, like this is like watching like some like Pee Wee hockey stuff. Like.
Because it's funny you mention that as Carter Hart goes down with injury, when Konechny goes down, JVR and Cam Atkinson, as those guys go down, we just completely collapse. We just stink without them. And I don't like, this is where I blame Chuck Fletcher for not doing too much to improve this team. But it's just like most Flyers fans want this man out of the building, out of Philly for good. Because the dude's been because we all knew that, Howie at one point was public enemy number 1. Now that belongs to Chuck Fletcher. Because he just isn't great. And the fact we're sitting 7th place behind the Pittsburgh Penguins is freaking BS. But then again, for those who've been in Philadelphia and know the rivalry between us and Pittsburgh, we hate the Penguins.
Everyone hates the Penguins.
I've always wanted to ask someone from Philly this. In general, how serious is the Philly-Pittsburgh rivalry?
Depends on who you're asking. If it's in hockey, we take it very serious. We always hate Pittsburgh in hockey. Football, not so much, because the Pittsburgh, we don't mind having a bit of a rivalry with the Steelers. But like I said, every time we play any Pittsburgh team, it's pretty much battle like who's going to have in-state bragging rights. Basically, it's just basically how, yeah. Just how like us in especially in college football, where I'm a longtime Clemson fan, as most of y'all have, from what I've people know about me. In terms of like that, I mean, sorry, the Gamecocks, we strongly hate the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah, the South Carolina rivalry right there.
Yeah, instead, so yeah, we really don't. It's not really as serious, but I mean, I don't mind enjoy the Battle of the Keystone State. That's for sure. Every so often. But it depends on who you're asking. It depends on the sport, though.
I'm assuming, at least currently, there's not really much of a rivalry between the Pirates and Phillies.
Not really, but it's. I mean, our biggest. Yeah, it's just like this. We have small rivalries here and there, but just. Outside anything where in the NL East is pretty much it's a whole different ball game, basically.
Yeah, I feel like the Cubs and White Sox rivalry is pretty strong.
Trust me, I shit on the White Sox all the time because it's just like.
I mean, that's different though, because the Cubs and White Sox are literally within the same city.
Yeah, I know people from both teams, and some people don't, and I don't even understand that, but.
Yeah, it's just
you have to choose.
It's like Yankees Red Sox, because Yankees Red Sox.
No, that's a historic rivalry.
Mets Yankees is now turned into a rivalry because we as Yankee fans, I don't care what the Mets do, honestly. Congrats to the Mets are at least doing something, but shit, like these Mets content creators, like some of them are great. Like Hayden's one of my good friends.
Dude, Hayden's great.
Hayden's great, but besides that. everyone is like saying Yankees, Mets, out of New York, but still, like, Yankees fans, we're happy that the Mets are good. It makes our revenue go up. Actually, when they're good, the tickets go higher. This is.
I mean, I'll say this too. Like, one team I've always said that's could pose a bit of a challenge to the Astros in the AL West is, for me, is the Seattle Mariners. I think that's the only team I could see outside of the Texas, and sorry, Arco, outside of the Texas Rangers could pose a threat to the AL West.
They're a threat. The Rangers are a
threat. I mean, I said this last night. I disagree with that. I think there's another AL West team that you didn't name that should be talked about.
The Angels, though, I don't know if they have enough firepower to really. I mean, I know they're going to make some noise the AL West, but for me, I just don't think. I think they could use a little bit more. I think a little bit more, bit of a firepower. Because I mean, look at the Mariners, look at the Rangers. I mean, like, how are you going to compete with that, especially opening day? Who knows? And as for being a Phillies fan for long, God, it's just like we have two guys. We can't get away from two pitchers. That's DeGrom and goddamn Verlander. We cannot get away from those two. Because now we're going to have to see. We're probably going to might see DeGrom opening day. We're definitely going to see Verlander. I think later down the road. I don't know exactly how far down the schedule, but
and now you have a healthy Scherzer. Now Scherzer's now healthy. Now he's 100% healthy. You're gonna have a healthy Scherzer. You're gonna have a healthy Mets pitching rotation, and the Mets are stacked everywhere.
Yeah, the Mets,
they're stacked everywhere.
The Mets pitching rotation is literally unfair. And their batting order, not as much as San Diego, but their batting order is basically.
They got some solid pieces in that order. Now, I will say, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Now we're going to see, like I said, with Verlander, Scherzer, Senga.
Senga's gonna be good, man.
Who's the other two in that rotation?
Quintana as well.
Quintana. I think a lot of people do not give Quintana a lot of love throughout his career.
Ground ball rate. He's gonna put the ball on the ground. The Mets have one of the best defenses in the league with the ball on the ground.
But I will say this too: the third base for me for the Mets is you can call it a question because that's kind of been. I think after David Wright, when he retired, which is, let's be real, I think that was kind of a shame. Just the lack of injuries that he has dealt with has not been the best. Eduardo Escobar, he's okay defensively, but I think he's a better bat piece for me.
In my opinion, they should try Guillaume at third. Guillaume is a good contact hitter, but listen, he's a good contact hitter. He's a lefty. Put him in the lineup. He's proven every single time when he's in the lineup, he gets on base. Put him at third. Second base, you put.
Actually, second base is McNeil.
You put McNeil, obviously. First, you put Pete, but then it makes more options
Lindor.
for Cannon to get in the lineup. It gets the more bats in the lineup that are lefties and righties.
Cannon's going to be in the lineup regardless. I mean, he's already one of their outfielders. I mean, now I will say I think the Mets did overpay for Brandon Nimmo. I think Nimmo for me, it's just that he's a solid player, but he just had these flash in the pan type of seasons where like he'll be like that's just me. I'm not
like he'll explode and then not be much of anything.
Like he's like up and down most of the time. And now, granted, he dealt with injuries the last couple of years, so I will kind of give him benefit of the doubt. But it's just like I like the years he had. I would definitely give him the years, but less than I would never give him over 100 plus million because I really don't think he's really worth that. But if he's
like Rob. He's one of my most underrated players in the.
I think he's just an underrated player in general. I think people just tend to really hate him.
The thing is, I 100% understand what you mean. But the thing is, when he puts up 290, 270, like this year. Obviously, I think he's gonna hit 300. I think he's gonna be over 300 this year. The way and now he's gonna obviously. I think they should obviously lead him off now. He's a leadoff hitter. He gets on base.
Oh yeah. I can't disagree with that.
The years, I don't obviously the years I don't understand at all. 8-year deal. It's just like
and the
years are crazy, but
because usually you're
the guys deserve the money, so you got to pay him.
Yeah, but then again, at least he can't be trying to. I mean, look, the all season's been. It's been crazy. It's been
dying down now, but
yeah. But outside of during the hot stuff and stuff like that, it's just been, it's been crazy. I mean, And the fact that, I mean, we had John Heyman jumping the gun early, I think early at the 2 a.m. or something like that. With the, oh, I was like, I just started cracking. I was like, really? It's 2 a.m. And the fact that Arson Judge, what the fuck?
Arson.
And that's already shitstorm, basically. But then, obviously, he did sign right back with the Yankees 9 years. It's just, for me, with the Yankees, I mean, you got a solid rotation. You pretty much, it's just, for me, it's the offense is what's the issue with me.
Honestly, I will say this about the Yankees: that is a scary starting rotation. But their offense, if Aaron Judge and Anthony Rizzo did not play for the Yankees, that offensive line would be one of the 10 worst in Major League Baseball.
Judge carried the whole year, obviously.
And I will say this: if Aaron Judge was not on the Yankees last year, there's a good chance they wouldn't even be in the playoffs at all.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Because obviously Rizzo brings his bat. Anthony Rizzo is, of course, his average is not what he used to be, but he's
still Anthony Rizzo, man.
He's still the same guy, but
he's still Mr. Consistent, but it's just not as what he once was during his days in.
And I'm saying this right now, DJ, when he's not in the lineup, he screws the whole lineup. We need DJ back. DJ makes the lineup.
Yeah, guys are just injury prone.
I mean, LeMahieu is still, from what I saw, a solid contact bat. He just didn't have the power that he's had in previous years.
The thing is, with him being out for the last 2 years, has screwed the whole lineup up. Because now we would have had Judge. We would have had, obviously, DJ Judge. Which Stan, I don't know what the hell happened to him this year, but whatever.
He should be. I told people this too. For a guy of his size, he's been injury prone as hell.
Yes,
and I hate to say it because I've always liked, and I think people tend to forget he was actually known as Mike Stanton during the early Florida Marlin years. People tend to forget. People tend to forget about that. Which still looking at reading that's like, I thought it was like Mike Stanton and Giancarlo has like two different people, but it's like nope, it's the same guy. It's like damn.
Wait, I didn't know this. He changed his name?
Apparently, I think Giancarlo was his middle name. I think Mike's his middle name.
That's his middle name, but he made it his full. Now they made it his full name.
Makes sense. And first of all, and for those who don't know, Carlos Correa's real last name is Oppenheimer Jr.
I did know that.
Yeah,
his last name is not Correa.
I'm thinking like Carlos Javier Correa Oppenheimer Jr. What?
Yeah, his name is so fucking long.
By the way, the Gurriel brothers are actually the Castillo brothers.
This is a lot of stuff. It's interesting, but it's like kind of mind-boggling. It's like first of all, it was like, oh,
it gets even better. Wait, it gets even better.
Oh,
Gurriel is supposed to be spelled with an O, but they just dropped the O. It's supposed to be Gourriel.
Oh my, that's crazy. But it's just like. But yeah, so look, I actually just brought up his. So Brandon Miller will not be a free agent until before he's 38, and this season he's getting paid 18.25. Then it goes to 20 million, over 20 million for the next. So from 2024 all the way to 2030.
Which was honestly $20 million. They made the contract really good because it's not going to be like a big $40 million contract, but
there's some people.
He's going to be making.
He's going to be making about
his last good years, obviously. Shit.
Yeah, I think after 30, because usually your prime years don't end after your age 35 season.
Yeah.
I think. Isn't a player considered to be in their prime, like late 20s, early, maybe
I think
mid-30s?
Between 29 to 32, I think when you enter your prime years.
I would say now it's changed to 27, 28.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, 20. Yeah, that's kind of because I've always thought it was 29 to 32 in that age range.
Now these players coming out the league 20 years old and just hitting 40.
I mean, take it from me. We have a guy, Andrew Painter, might be coming up in the big leagues. He's not even 20 years old yet.
Yes,
and he's been one of our outside of McAble.
Early, so.
I mean, look at Harper when he came in. He was 19 when he broke in.
Oh yeah. Wasn't Juan Soto 19 or 20 when he won
Soto was 20 when he
with
broke
the Nationals?
In.
Yeah, he was the gift. He was gifted. Soto was gifted when he was. He has everything.
Can I say something real quick? I'm sorry. I know this is kind of derailing. We mentioned Gurriel earlier. Does anyone know why it's not been officially announced that Yuli Gurriel is leaving when it's abundantly obvious. He's a free agent. His contract expired. We signed another better first baseman, Jose Abreu. We have no need for Yuli Gurriel anymore. Anyone who's paying attention knows
could
it
use
is
some like
blatantly
Gurriel for the
obvious
DH.
that he's leaving.
I mean, first of all, you get a young.
I'm being honest. I think just no one wants him right now.
I mean, think about Yuli's almost pushing 40.
Yes,
that's another thing. Is the guy is old? I don't understand why we still don't have an official announcement.
Yeah, he was old when he broke out. He took forever for them to just get him rolling.
But yeah, I mean, but if someone is in desperate need of a DH, I mean, why take the? I mean,
I would not take the obvious. I won't take the chance. He's injury prone as fuck right now.
I wouldn't even want him as a DH because he's more of a contact guy. He's not a power hitter.
Yes.
Yeah, but just looking at, I mean, he's been in the league 6 years, so he's been there since he was 32.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of his time playing baseball in Cuba.
Yeah, I think it's just like this, like certain like countries that have like a little bit of difference for their players before they go over. Like, look at Japan. I mean, I've seen people where you spend like 10 plus years in Japan before they come over. I think. I mean, there was this one kid I've been looking at. This kid's just freaking disgusting as hell. Could be those like triple digit. Had like had a 19 strikeout game. I think people. I think that kind of story just kind of died down a little bit.
Hold on a second. 19 strikeouts,
and this kid can top out at triple digits at the same time in Japan.
Oh, I know you're talking.
Yeah,
I forgot his name. I know you're talking. He's disgusting. His splitter is disgusting as fuck. Like, he is a nasty splitter.
Yeah, it's just like I'm thinking to myself, like, that is unfair. Even though Japanese baseball is, from what I've understood, it's compared to minor league baseball. But the fact that you have a high, I think this kid.
These guys are in Japan leagues. Obviously, the competition is almost the same because it's just smaller mounds, but it's closer action. But of course, these guys are topping up at 100 at the age of 19. Like, these dudes are coming out.
Yeah.
Ohtani is throwing 100 in high school ball.
Yeah, I did not know that about Showtime. He was throwing 100 in high school.
I think the lowest he's ever topped out, I was like 97 at the high school level in Japan. Disgusting. It's disgusting. And the fact he can do both it's even disgusting, which makes it even more disgusting.
Shohei Ohtani is a monster. I don't want him to leave Anaheim, but if he does, he would look great in Space City Blue.
Listen, Yankees right here, dog.
I'll say this too. The fact that I will say this too. The Space City's City Connect jerseys from Houston. The fact they got so much hits, I actually kind of like the idea. I mean, first of all,
Space City's a lot.
I mean, I kind of understand the. I haven't Karko. I didn't really see much, but I know the Rangers spent a shit ton of money in the off season.
They sent Eovaldi too. Nathan Eovaldi's now Rangers.
Eovaldi, they got Haney.
Yeah, Eovaldi, Heaney. They got who else? Well, obviously
John Gray. John Gray season back. John Gray. They still have him. They have a nasty rotation.
The Rangers have been making, for the most part, good moves, but as an Astros fan, what the fuck were they thinking signing Jake Odorizzi?
Yeah, that's the one that Jake Odorizzi hasn't really been the same in quite some time.
I will say he's not bad,
but he could have done a lot better. That's all I'm saying. And because when I looked at Fangraphs the other day, I'm looking at the rotation they had. DeGrom at the number, obviously the ace. He had I think they had Martin Perez number 2, John Gray 3. I think Haney 4. I think Haney's the 5th and Eovaldi's the 4th. That's the rotation for projections for 2023.
That is a top 3 in the MLB rotation right there.
And not much. You guys got what the hell's his name? You got Kumar Rocker coming up. You got Dane Dunning's. Dane Dunning's kind of been hit and miss.
Dane Dunning's one of the most underrated pitchers in the league right now.
I think he is underrated, but at times I've seen the last couple of years he's been hit and miss sometimes. Listen, so is Glenn Otto. Glenn Otto's been very hit and miss.
As a Yankee fan, I definitely know his act. But Otto is. I'm just so confused on Otto, man. Like it's like some pitches he throws, it's high low. Then you have like his right down the middle fastball, which you can't.
Yeah, it's
like,
a
right
literal meatball.
His control is terrible.
I talk about a BP pitcher at its finest.
Yeah, he's just a long reliever in my opinion. If at most he's a long reliever.
Because I mean, if you think about it too, like say, I mean, like I said, with the Texas Rangers, you got Kumar Rocker, you got Jack Leiter going to be coming up very soon, rather than later. So think about this too. DeGrom, you could have Martin Perez.
Evaldi's still there. He could take over DeGrom.
I'm gonna be honest. Jake Odorizzi should be in the bullpen, and they should just designate Glenn Otto for assignment at this point. There's no their rotation is a monster. There is no reason to keep Glenn Otto on the team. They should DFA him, in my opinion.
I could
or be obviously just send him to AAA, put him down in AAA,
or demotion.
Get his value up at this point. Shit.
I could see demoting him instead of outright DFAing him, but honestly, he should not be on the big league roster.
Because they have I see a lot of injury prone guys. John Gray can go down. Because
Gray hasn't really. Gray's been kind of hit and miss at.
Yeah.
I mean, he still had a decent year, but it was a hit and miss type of season.
Perez can go down. Baldy could definitely go down.
I mean, Baldy's been known to be very injury prone.
Yeah, and then you see there's a lot of injury prone guys in that rotation. So obviously,
but if they stay
Otto down, get his innings up, let him keep on working, and then whenever they need him, he's there. So,
and I'm thinking, and I said this too. If this entire rotation stays healthy. Like Tyler said, it's a top 3.
Yeah, they're dominant. They're gonna be dominant. They're really
if the rotation stays healthy, but
that's always the biggest
I gotta
key.
be honest. Relying on DeGrom and especially DeGrom and the other guys to stay healthy, that's not the best strategy.
That's harder said than done, basically.
They need him to stay healthy. They need DeGrom and Evaldi to stay healthy to have any chance.
Yeah, because it's when he's healthy, he is just disgusting. I've seen that there was a couple
when Jacob DeGrom is healthy, he is the best pitcher in baseball.
Oh, I think it's just
obviously.
But yeah, it's just and it's funny because I mean the fact that he's only 2-pitch pitcher, if he can get 100 plus mile an hour fastball, a 90 and almost like a 95 mile an hour slider in your back pocket, that's unhittable.
How do you throw a 95 mile per hour breaking pitch?
A 90, his slider tops in a.
I've seen
92.
There was a couple instances where his slider did top out between 95 and 96 in a couple occasions.
Let's just say this: imagine if DeGrom had a curveball.
He does have it, but it's occasional curveball.
I don't know.
He doesn't use it a lot.
Use it, right?
He doesn't use it, but he'll if his slider's not working, he'll bust it out a couple more on some occasions. But speaking of going with the Angels, their projected rotation is looking like Ohtani at the top. You got Tyler Anderson 2, Patrick Sandoval 3, Suarez 4, and Reed Detmers at the 5.
I gotta disagree. I think Detmers is ahead of Suarez.
Yes,
I would definitely have had Detmers at the 4. Maybe 3. I think Patrick.
The thing is, the Angels said they saw the rotation. Every year they say that, but this rotation is not good at all. We'll just be honest.
They got a decent top 2. I think Tyler Anderson is.
I mean, the Angels' 22 rotation was 6th place out of 30 teams, and that was before Tyler Anderson joined. I mean, I have to very much disagree. I think I'm not going to sit here and say that Reed Detmers and Jose Suarez are Cy Young candidates. That's obviously not true.
They're solid pieces. I mean, think about it. Reed Detmers threw a freaking no-hitter last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And Suarez,
and also, if I'm not
Suarez is like a
mistaken,
bullpen piece to me.
That's
the thing. Detmers and Sandoval are young guys.
So yeah, Sandoval's 26. So yeah, Shohei, you got, like I said, so you're 30 after. So you got a good amount of time for a Shohei. So you still got him in this prime. So the only you still have pretty much your entire rotation is still in their prime years.
The thing is, the only thing I'm scared about is I'm not a big fan of Sandoval at all.
I mean, Sandoval if you looked at his numbers last year, he had a 3.72 ERA in 29 games started, throwing for 166 innings, walked 62 to 166 strikeouts.
The thing is, his walks are really high. That's the one that he walks a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean he does. I mean, looking at out of the rotation, yeah, he's pretty much has the highest walk rate out of anybody.
Yeah, he walks and Rob, one Patrick Sandoval game. You're gonna see at least like 7 to 8 walks a game. He's gonna walk.
I've seen worse. But the Gio Urshela and Brett Phillips pickup are very interesting ones.
As an Angels fan, I love Gio. Gio was great.
That's the thing I don't understand as an Angels fan. People like to shit on our rotation when our rotation is our strongest asset. Our biggest problem was our batting order and our defense, which I think, I'm not going to say it's entirely taken care of, but we got Gio Urshela, we got Hunter Renfroe, we got Brandon Drury.
Even though I did say Drury, but looking at their projected lineup, they have Taylor Ward, Mike Trout number 2, Ohtani 3, Rendon 4, Hunter Renfroe 5. You have the Brandon Drury hitting 6, Jared Walsh 7th, Logan O'Hoppe hitting 8th, and then you have Luis Rengifo, your shortstop, batting 9th.
They're not starting Gio at short.
That is a respectable.
Yeah, Gio, they have him on the bench.
Man,
that's
bench you have David Fletcher, Max Stassi, and Brett Phillips and Urshela on the bench.
That's like just start Fletch then. If you're gonna put that, put Fletch in the lineup.
Well, the question is who you.
Fletch should be your shortstop.
I mean, looking at the number, I mean Fletch.
Fletch is a contact hitter. You should.
Put Fletch had a 267 average, 311 on base, 357 slugging. But I mean, the batting average, I know that it favors a Fletcher, but he looked at the slugging percentage, that favors in Luis Rengifo.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that that's an all-star batting order because it isn't, but that's definitely respectable. That's solid. Yeah.
I like just only I would switch is put Gio or Switch at short. That's something I'll change.
I can't just. I mean, you got Drury. I mean, not too bad looking at the lineup though. But what concerns me, if this is what I think with. But then again, big shout out to Randy. It's Blue Jays. At least I don't have to deal with Yusei Kikuchi in that rotation. Oh man, Toronto! What the hell were you thinking of signing Kikuchi? Just stunk it up.
I don't know, man.
And I talked to Randy. Me and actually Randy talked about this too. Like he won't be surprised if Bo Bichette's not a Blue Jays player next year. So he's expecting the Blue Jays might move on from Bo. So that's kind of crazy to think about.
Bo's a good player, man.
I think Kevin Bacon needs to get out of Toronto. I really do. I do think Kevin Bacon needs to get out of Toronto. That's just from me. Because I think, and also Randy, from what Randy says too, when we talked about that, yeah, he looked at it how his Bo's style is. Kind of seems like he's more fit to be like an LA type of lifestyle. So I'm thinking to myself, he said he might see the Angels might pick him up, might make a push for him, or the Dodgers.
You're talking about Kevin Biggio, right?
No, Bo Bichette.
Bo Bichette? Oh, dude, I would love to see that man in an Angels uniform.
I think that could be at least.
He goes to the Dodgers, man. Oh my face.
First of all, what were the Dodgers even thinking trade for Miguel Rojas? That was just what?
Talking about the Dodgers, their ownership, their management. I don't know what they're thinking. I gotta be honest.
I mean, you let Trey Turner walk to us, and the fact you replace him with Miguel Rojas. I mean, offensively, yet. But
they spent too much. The thing is, I think they obviously just said fuck it because they seen the board was going. They were not going to get Dansby. They weren't going to get all these guys, so they said fuck it. We're just going to trade for someone, and they got Rojas. So
Rojas is only good for offense. His defense,
defense is really good.
He's being you're getting more of a defensive shortstop than his bat's just inconsistent.
When he's bat, it's a decent bat, but if it's not like freaking Trey Turner's bat, so it's not like you're getting a worse player but better defense. That's what I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, but I mean,
I gotta be honest. The Dodgers front office really. I'm not gonna say they screwed themselves because they're still a really.
You got to call it into question at that point.
They're losing guys, man. They're losing.
Like they're bleeding guys in free agency, and they lost Tyler Anderson to us. They lost Andrew Heaney to Dallas, and
we got Gallo to Minnesota. That Ty McCanley back to the Yankees. Townsend Alberto goes to the White Sox on a minor league. So they pretty much lost Turner. They lost Anderson. They lost Justin Turner. Cody Bellinger. They lost Chris Martin, Haney, Kimbrel, Gallo, Canley, and Alberto. Those are that the Dodgers have lost so far.
A lot of guys, man.
And the thing is, like, don't even get me started on the situation with Bauer. Now, outside the field issues, I understand. Outside the field, but on the field, there's no denying that Bauer is.
It's a good
talent. I don't know about
pitcher,
anymore because it's been so long since he last played. But Bauer, when he was last playing, was one of the best pitchers in the MLB. And I understand outside the field issues are a thing, but as far as just on the field talent, that was a really big loss.
I'm just gonna say this about Bauer real quick. Listen, obviously momentum, his brand, that's what he does on YouTube, but
yeah,
he works. Like he's not
he's still trying to keep himself in shape and trying not to have any rust built up.
I'm telling you, his changeup he's been working on for the last 2 years now. It's disgusting. His changeup has improved so much through the time he's lost.
Right?
Yeah, Trevor Bauer.
Bauer's changeup was terrible when he was in the league, but now he worked with Eric Gagne, which is one of the best pitching minds you can get, and he's topping it now of 94, 95 in an indoor facility. He may top it in 97, 98 now.
And it's bad. And think of this too, guys. If you look at the Dodgers bench, according to Fangraphs, they got Barnes, they got Rojas, Miguel Vargas, and Jason Hayward on their bench. So, but the rotation looks pretty solid. They got a solid rotation. Kershaw, Urias, Gonsolin. They just picked up Thor and Dustin Mays to number 5.
I always like Syndergaard.
I gotta be honest. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that's a bad rotation, but they're not gonna be number 1 rotation in the MLB again. No shot in hell.
Because Kershaw's about to enter his age 35 season. I mean, I think, but yeah. So Dustin, I mean, you got some guys still in the prime years. I mean, Dustin May, Julio Urias. I mean, looking at his numbers, wasn't great. But the ERA for me was just a little bit high. I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Isn't Dustin Mays? Hasn't he mostly been in the bullpen?
Mostly, I think since coming off
the last couple years, yes. The last couple years, yes.
I gotta be honest. I'm not saying he'll be bad, but the fact that he hasn't been a starter in a while, I don't know how I feel about that.
The thing with May is I like his stuff a lot. He has very good stuff.
He's got some good stuff. It's just at times it's just like his control is a little bit iffy.
I agree.
But looking at Dustin May's numbers, I mean, he started 19 games for the Dodgers through 125 innings, walked 40 to 138 strikeouts. So he was their third leading guy in. Actually, no, I'm sorry. 1, 2. They were actually 4th leading guy in strikeouts because right now their strikeout machine was Julio Urias 185. Even though Gonsolin and Urias, their walk rate's a little bit too high for me.
But the thing is, Urias is just a strikeout pitcher, man. He wants strikeouts. He's like Cole. He walks a lot of people, but he gets a lot of strikeouts. I
mean, he had a 4.04 ERA. You had Gonsolin at 4.37.
They're going to be back. I honestly think those two are going to be back to where they need to be. Gonsolin has good stuff. They have good stuff. Just the thing is, they put everything together. I think Kershaw's will be regressing this year. You're gonna start seeing his regression start this year.
Well, you got to think too. Kershaw's entering the end of his prime years.
Yes,
how old is Kershaw now? Isn't he 35?
He's 35.
34.
He's 34.
He just turned 35.
Yeah, he just come back on a 1-year deal. He's been alive since 2006. So
yeah,
it's but he didn't really make his debut to 2010. So he's been up in the big league since 2010. So yeah, he's still
trucking.
Still trucking at 35. It's going to be 35. He was a 7.
I just don't like his stuff, man. Like the thing is, now his stuff is getting worse and worse and worse. It's just.
It's just what happens as you age, some pitchers don't do well as they age.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Verlander. I mean, Verlander's pushing 40 and he's still in his prime.
Verlander is an outlier. The guy is almost. The guy is 39. He just came off of Tommy John surgery, and he had an ERA under 2. Yes, but that's extremely rare. I can confidently say we're not going to live to see something like that again.
You know what?
Yes.
That's actually I
agree.
And Cole, I mean, Cole's decent, but he's just not as. And Cole's also getting there. It's just up there in age. I know.
Don't smack that man is not. That man's not Justin Verlander. Don't you? Those
Garrett Cole,
different playing fields.
Garrett Cole very much underperformed in 2022. He should have been better than he was.
He allowed. Let's just be honest, Rob. He allowed over 30 home runs this season.
Oh yeah,
he allowed more home runs than anybody else in the regular season.
Yeah, I think he pretty much led the league in like home runs given up or something like that.
He did.
Like how bad? Like that's just. Well, looking at the Yankees though, I'm looking at their rotation. Yeah, Cole. I will say, Rodon, very great pickups. Luis Severino, Nestor. Really, they had Nestor at 4, and they had Domingo.
Montas at 5, but Montas will be out for the first month.
What do you like? Shoulder inflammation?
Yeah, his stupid shoulder, man. Like it's like he's
like he just cannot stay healthy with that damn shoulder.
Now Gil's gonna take. I think Gil or Garcia's gonna. I think one of those guys or Herman. Herman could take over the spot, but the Yankees gonna be fine.
I could see Herman. He was really bad for a certain point in 2022, but he got it together at the end of the season.
Yeah, they actually have Luis Gil on the injured list with Frankie Montas.
Yeah, Trevor's right now. The way that Bauer, I would honestly call Bauer. I mean, Trevor, come up here. You're 1 year. You're gonna give him a 1 year, 570. I would give that in a heartbeat right now.
Would you put him at the? That's the question. Where are you going to put him in the rotation? Do you put him at the 5 spot? Is the biggest question.
I put him at the 5. I put him at the 5 easily. Give him the 5 starter.
Just look at look at the bullpen. You got David Garcia, Albert Abreu. Wait, did he actually? Albert Abreu? No, that's good. No,
I will say though, Bauer to the Yankees isn't happening because the Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer have
there's been a bit of a story with that going out. They did not like each other at UCLA.
College.
It's just, I don't know exactly what happened, but
I know what happened.
They made Garrett Cole was bullying Trevor Bauer basically.
They were just those two were hot when they were in college, bro. Those two were just because they were making fun of Bauer because Bauer used to do the weird workouts and stuff where he used to ring the armband.
The shoulder tube.
Yeah, like he had some weird workout routines before the game. Like you could see, you could watch videos of it. He had used to have this long tube where he used to just do this half of the time, and he
just swirling it with his fingers.
It was the worst. I've never seen that in my life, but it obviously worked. But
obviously it worked out for him.
But listen, Bauer's a good pitcher. Like, obviously, he's a scientist of pitching. People even I think he's smarter than most of these pitching coaches in the league. Bauer's a smart mind. Like
whenever Bauer retires from playing, he should become a pitching coach.
Yeah, I think he should. And I didn't even let's be real. I'll be completely honest. I didn't even realize Albert Abreu even left.
We got him back. We traded him, and we got him back again.
I didn't even realize he even left Houston after that. I did not know that. So look at the bullpen. You have your long reliever is David Garcia. Your middle reliever is Peralta Trevino. Oh God, I'm going to butcher this man's name. Marinaccio?
Oh, Marinaccio. Yeah, Robin.
I am sorry. I don't like African sounding names or Italian because they're just hard to butcher and not going to pronounce. Albert Abreu. But you get your setup guy is Tommy Canley and Loizaga, and then you got Clay Holmes as your back end as your closer.
I love the rotation a lot. Wandy's gonna be back. Wandy's gonna be a big lefty. We led what's his name?
Outside of David Garcia, you had guys under a 4 ERA in the bullpen.
But this year, man, Rob, I'm telling you right now, we have a lot of young guys, and I love it so much.
And if I'm the Yankees, at some point. Let's see. You're short. Let's see. Who do you have at short? Short.
You have Peraza. Isn't that Kiner Falefa?
You have him on the bench.
I think we're not signing. I think we're going to start Peraza.
That's what I'm saying. Because looking at the projected lineup for the opening day roster, you have Torres leading off, Judge 2, Rizzo 3, Stanton 4, Johnson 4. You gotta have to trade his ass at some point. Cabrera in the left.
Donaldson has got to go. I'm sorry, he's too old.
Yes, I agree.
He's 37.
Obviously, I think no teams want him right now. the way he played last year.
But yeah. But going further, I mean, you had Donaldson at the 5, Cabrera 6th, Bader 7th, Peraza 8th, and Jose Trevino batting 9th.
Bro, I listen. We should not be leading off Gleyber Torres. Let's just be honest. We should not be leading off Gleyber. Gleyber is not.
I think the leadoff man should be
out of that
trying
guy.
To think.
If I'm being honest, with those guys, just put Judge leadoff. But that shit, like you just put.
I gotta be honest. No, Judge is the best power hitter in the league right now.
I think
you don't put power hitters as the leadoff man.
I say maybe DJ at best. I mean, DJ has the context.
That's what I would say. Either LeMahieu or Rizzo at first in the batting order.
And Rizzo does have some pretty good numbers and during this time with his Cubs. I think he had like over 300 average when he was in the leadoff spot when he was during this time with the Cubs. So
yeah,
I wouldn't. And I think Torres. I would say I would bump. Yeah, have Rizzo lead off. Have Torres probably 2. Probably have and Judge 3. That's how I would.
Or that's where I would put Judge. I would put him in the 3 spot.
Or you could do this. If they really want to be crazy with this, I'll put DJ and then I'll put Rizzo 2, protect, stay in 3.
I can see that. 4. I can see that.
You could put Judge 4 and make him clean up, and then
then have Stanton 5, and you probably
3 guys get on base.
And then you could probably have Torres at the 3 spot. That I can.
Yeah,
that's not
I would respect that batting order.
I would respect that for sure because I mean,
mix it up. That's the thing.
Look, Harrison Bader. I think he's been a very solid piece since coming
Bader's later in the lineup. I like Bader later in the lineup. Get him on base. You need him later in the lineup.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, he's one of their talk about postseason wise. He's pretty much one of your best hitters in the postseason.
He was the best hitter.
I mean, so far, 248, 311, 4 slash line was not too bad. Could be a lot better. But Cabrera, I mean, yeah, Cabrera and Peraza, and that's a short sample size. I mean, we got to give him, and at some point, you're going to
give those guys a chance.
And especially, I mean, with Anthony Volpe, at some point, you're going to have to give that kid a chance at some point down the road.
Oh my God! I just hope that Aaron Boone does not fuck this up. If he
gotta be honest, y'all need to fire Aaron Boone. I don't care that he managed y'all to a 99 win team. My pet goldfish could have managed the Yankees to a 99 win team. Y'all need to fire Aaron Boone.
It's it was just ugly. Let's be real. And the fact that he resigned Cashman, when I saw when they resigned Cashman, I was like, oh, good Lord,
I have to be honest, and I said this obviously. I'm actually gonna say this is the first offseason in a while that I gotta give Cashman some hands. Like he
shockingly,
but he actually had a good offseason.
I mean, that just showed me you picked
signed the best pitcher on the market.
That is true.
And now you have the nasty 1-2 in Cole and Rodon, which that's a nasty 1-2.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Cole is a 3. I think Nestor is number 2. Honestly,
I can respect that.
I just if I'm being honest,
honestly, I would say this is the way I would see it. I would say I would have Rodon should be your ace because I think he's a lot younger than Cole.
There's no argument that he's not the ace.
Because look at the numbers he's had: a 3.14 ERA, 235 strikeouts to 50 walks.
This is what I'm gonna say though. The Yankees should put Rodon as the number 2. And this is why I'm going to say this. You could switch up the lefties and the righties. You could put Cole, Rodon, Sevy, Cortez. You could mix up the lefties and the righties. You can mix them up to the point right now. In a game 1 situation, Cole wins and you end it with Sevy game 3. That's over. You can mix it up now where it's now you lefties and the righties.
I can see what you're saying specifically within the context of a postseason matchup. Because the Yankees' rotation is so unfair, there's a lot of teams that the Yankees' number 2 or 3 might be better than another team's ace. I would agree. Don't put Rodon in game 1. Put him in game 2 or 3.
That's where you have. And I didn't just get him prepared. Honestly, I didn't do Yankees hate this season of a preparing season just to get these guys ready for their spot. So I didn't just go. They're just going to put Rodon in game. They're going to put him in as a second pitcher. That's what they're going to do. But I think they love Cole. They love Cole. So of course they're going to put Cole as their best pitcher. But then. Obviously, I think Rodon's a better pitcher, but Rodon he's a nasty number 2. Now you can easily get an easy game 2 because he's nasty.
I mean, the fact that
if I was the Yankees in a in a postseason matchup, I would put Nestor on the mound in game 1. If they win game 1, I would put Cole on the mound in game 2. If they lose game 1, I would put Rodon on the mound in game 2.
They have tons of options.
Yeah, you got a lot of options to think about in the postseason because, and
you go to the hot hand.
And now, I don't know about it, but going picking with the Astros now, looking at what their protected rotation, they got Framber Valdez, Javier 2, McCullers 3, Luis Garcia, and Jose Oki are the 4 and 5.
And honestly,
I think they should get Hunter Brown a chance. That kid is disgusting.
I think Hunter Brown is going to be, for the most
part,
Hunter.
They don't have Hunter Brown. I'm looking at they have projected that Hunter Brown might not make it on the roster.
I like his stuff a lot, man.
I think
nasty,
but I could be wrong.
Hunter Brown will be on the roster. I think he'll be a long reliever, and occasionally they'll let him start.
Makes sense.
I very like if I'm the Astros, put him in the 5 and then see what he does. If he's like disgusting at the number 5, then you just move him up.
And then what are you going to do with? And then I probably would say either move Urquidy to the bullpen. If that's the case,
Urquidy is just there, man. Like it's like their Astros are so loaded where they can. If Hunter Brown is like, I'm not ready, keep him in the minor leagues, let him keep on growing. That's how they don't need to bring him up right now. If I'm the Astros.
I mean, the Astros rotation, even without Verlander, is still one of the best in baseball. They don't need Hunter Brown in the rotation right now. Yeah. But if, let's just say, God forbid, McCullers gets injured again, or like Urquidy gets injured, absolutely put him in the starting rotation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and if you look at our rotation, we have it's most likely we're going to have Nola, Wheeler, Walker, Suarez. Falter is going to be a bit of a question mark because we might bring up one of our prospects to be the number 5 guy. That's not entirely too sure. But if Angel Painter does shout on camp, it's like I said, it's the same way with Hunter Brown. However, if Falter does not do well in the major leagues, or however the case may be, and give Painter a chance because Painter's one of our highest ranked pitching prospects in our organization. And he's not even 20 years old yet. So, but wow. He's been kind of him and Mick Abel are kind of the most talked about, and and Griff McGarry too has been kind of been the under the radar type of guy that people really don't know much about. But I mean, as we just pulled up a trade from Detroit to get Cody Clemens. He's going to be a decent bench piece, but that's not going to be great. But we did add Gregory Soto to the middle part of our bullpen. So they'll have Dominguez, Alvarado, Kimbrel is one of our other long guys, or setup guys, I should say, with Soto, Bilotti, Strom, Connor Brogdon, and Nick Nelson. I'm sorry. We just got rid of Nick Maton. But Nick Nelson, man, it's just been kind of questionable. Mm. And we did get Noah Song, but he's on the restricted list because of coming out of Navy from But yeah, so we don't have much to work with. But I mean, look, we have trade. I mean, we have Turner, Schwarber, Hoskins, JT, Nick Castellanos in right at the 5. Derek Hall is our DH until Harper comes back. Bohm 7, and then we have.
I keep forgetting that Harper had to get Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, so he's going to be out till the All-Star break. So, and then we'll have.
I gotta be honest. Honestly, I think Philly made enough good moves. I mean, obviously, you're better with Harper than without him, but I think you'd
be surprised. We're above 500 team without him when he went down.
A lot of people forget he was injured for a couple months in 2022 as well, and y'all were still winning more often than not without him there. I think Philly is going to be. It's like the Astros. Everybody thought we would start regressing because we didn't have Correa, but we were just fine with that. I think y'all are going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, our bench consists of Garrett Stubbs, Edmundo Sosa, Dalton Guthrie, and Cody Clemens. So we'll have some decent bench pieces. But like I said, man, I think we can definitely at least. We almost like I said. I mean, look at last year. We almost pulled almost a 90-win season out of our rear ends because of thank God, a long-deserved coaching change. Because holy crap!
Despite Joe Girardi's best efforts.
Best efforts is an understatement. I mean, damn, we were like, I think 12 and a half out of the wild card, or I think out of the division. I think 13 and less than almost 10 and a half out of the wild card. And then we had to make the change. And yeah, so the fact that we made it to the World Series was surprising.
You'll have a much better manager now. What's his name? Rob Thompson?
Yeah, so we have him in the next couple of years. We just extended most of our front office. And plus with Dombrowski, who knows what other shenanigans he might pull off. But yeah, so I mean... But yeah, man, it's been kind of fun, kind of just talking a little bit. I'm gonna wrap it up here because it's about almost 3:30 Eastern time because I have other stuff to take care of before I go live for Monday Night Football. Man, Tyler, it was a great pleasure having you and a few others on as well.
It's good talking to you, man. I look forward to coming back on here.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I mean, with that being said, Tyler, man, I appreciate it, and I'm out.